Skip, I'm waving. Sean gone. He doesn't trust Cal McNair. He doesn't like the direction that the organization is going in. He doesn't like the culture of the organization. And like, as I said before, my sources told me that Deshaun is willing to play hardball, if necessary, to get out of Houston. It's as simple as that. Now, the requests were made. We want out. Now, you can say, oh, we will see, we'll hire this guy, and maybe it's somebody he likes, and he'll come back. I was told there's not a hire that they can hire now that would make Deshaun change his mind.
Yep.
His mind is made up. When you did what you did, when you promised him that you would keep him into the loop of what was going on, and then you did not do that, and then when he pitched a fit about what you were doing, then you circled back and started looking at minorities. He says, I can't trust you because you gave me your word in the beginning. You went against your word. I get upset. So what's to say, Skip, in the future? You says, okay, Deshaun, this is the way we gonna do it. What's gonna say that you won't do that again? You lied before, you'll lie to me again. So Deshaun is done with this situation. Now, the thing now, what can they extrapolate from teams? Knowing that Deshaun Watson won't out, knowing that he's not going back, knowing that he's willing to play hardball in order to get out. Yep. That is the question. Deshaun Watson is not going back to Houston.
First, kudos to you. You've been way ahead of this curve and ahead of this story and all over it, ahead of the pack.
Yes.
So I appreciate that, and I thank you for that. It now feels like Deshaun dug in on this, according to you, even before this bombshell hire, this out-of-nowhere left field hire came last night of a David Culley. And as I told you earlier, the only reason I know David Culley is because he played quarterback for my school, Vanderbilt, was an assistant there briefly. And every time they had an opening at head coach, his name seemed to pop up. Why he didn't get it, I don't know. But he would always be a candidate to return to Vanderbilt as the head coach. And I did read a report last night that David Culley, as a coach on the Ravens staff, obviously, helped coach Deshaun in last year's Pro Bowl, and that they hit it off or they clicked. But clearly, Deshaun is already out. It transcends who the head coach is. And by the way, David Culley is African-American, so at least for what it's worth, the Texans did hire the only African-American head coach in this hiring cycle.
Right.
It's the last job available of the 7 jobs, and they did hire African-American.
But, Skip, if I can't trust you, the coach has a little consequences to the owner.
No.
The owner's going to do what he wants to do, and I no longer trust you.
What did him in was the executive position, the hiring of Nick Caserio as the GM, after the search firm that you paid millions of dollars to came up with 2 possible minority candidates, and you said no to both and went back to the well in New England to hire Nick Caserio.
And the guy, what you said, Easterby? He's the source of the contention.
Yeah, he's the top executive beneath Cal McNair, the son of the late.
Those 2 aren't going anywhere. So Deshaun says, since y'all not going anywhere, I'm going to pack my bags. I leave.
Okay. It's going to have to get ugly because I'm assuming that the Texans will play hardball back.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I give it just a matter of time. They're going to start leaking information, info, if they haven't already. And that's the way you have to approach it. Skip, I remember I was growing up and my aunts would get upset with my grandfather. He'd say, look, you staying in my house, you're going to come in at this time. And they would grumble and grumble. My grandfather would say, don't grumble and stay. Grumble and leave. He said, don't tell me what a mofo and an SOB I am in my house. Deshaun Watson says, you know what? I'm not going to grumble and stay right here. No. Easterby and Cal McNair, you're not going. I'm going to grumble and leave.
So it will cost him some money to hold out if it requires holding out of training camp, because he will get heavily fined. It could cost him up to maybe $1 million, but he's making a ton of new money.
Can you imagine Deshaun in New York? New York.
With the Jets.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want the Jets? Would you wish that upon Deshaun?
Look, I think at this point in time, he has the no trade, so he really gets to set the table of where he wants to go. So he can just narrow it down. Says, okay, I want Jets or I want Miami. I want San Francisco. So he really can narrow the scope. So it's not a situation where Skip, like James Harden, the whole league. I mean, there are 15 teams. When you have a no trade,
yeah.
Well, I'm not waiving my no trade for them, but I'm not coming to you. So.
Would Deshaun sign off on joining the new coach Urban Meyer in Jacksonville in a straight-up trade for Trevor Lawrence, or the rights to Trevor Lawrence with the #1 pick, so that Houston could start fresh with Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville would go places quickly with, I think, the second-best quarterback to Mahomes of the young quarterbacks in football?
Skip, it didn't get to that kind of conversation. I was basically listening.
Yep.
He wants out. The Jets are a top priority for him. Didn't get
just because of New York?
He really likes Robert Saleh.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
He likes Robert Saleh.
Right. I hope he likes what's left in the cupboard there.
And that's what's shocking to me is that the Jets. I understand Robert Saleh, but there are teams that have more weapons and probably wouldn't have to give up as much to get you. Definitely Miami.
Yep, I got it.
And both teams have some money up under the cap. But Jacksonville with 80+ million, Skip. You could get a lot of free agents, especially with no state income tax.
All right. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out for Deshaun. And this, a Cowboys legend, is hanging it up. We're going to get Skip's reaction after the break.
Okay, I got it. Plus the smell in there, that eucalyptus smell.
Yeah.
It's heavenly, man.
That's my candles burning. That's what happens.
Really?
I got that pina colada candle getting teak wood.
Ho hum, another day in paradise.
Yeah. But Skip, all I'm saying is Tom Brady is a great person. For all I know, he's a great person. He's an even better football player. But why we got to try to make it to be perfect? That's my point. Why it's not good enough for him to be what he is. We got to make him even more perfect. We almost got to make him godly, flawless. That's my problem, Skip. That's my only thing. And you know that's what it is. I've told you that.
What if he was just being humble? Is that a novel concept? A pro football player actually being humble to say, okay, but he was in the Pro Bowl last year, and he's really good, and I need him.
Except when the NFL releases those text messages, he being humble. Peyton Manning got 2 years left, and I'm going to keep this thing going. Remember those text messages? Is that humble? Is that humble?
Was that confident?
See, now you don't switch it again.
Okay, well, did he do it publicly? Did he say that publicly? He didn't say anything publicly.
Skip, that's my point.
I love my teammates.
Skip,
he drives you crazy what he doesn't say publicly.
That's my point. Is that they try to make him godly when we know he has flaws, when we heard some of the things that he said when he thought no one was around or it wouldn't get out. That's all I'm saying. So now we know that he's flawed. We got to stop this notion that he's not flawed. That's it, Skip.
Okay, I'll give